Glad to have y'all all here with us. I told some, next week, same time, same place, we'll do it again. What do y'all think? You're always welcome to come to Commissioner's Court. Of course, we normally meet over in the courthouse in the Commissioner's Courtroom, but we're glad to have you all here this morning. So, Washington County Commissioner's Court is now in session, Tuesday, November 26, 2024 at 9 a.m. Commissioner Hannah, would you do the honors of introducing our pastor, please?
Our pastor today is Mr. Robert Mabry.
All right. Whew. Give thanks to the Lord with grateful heart. Good morning. Today and always, may mercy follow you, grace empower you, favor distinguish you, peace keep you, and help locate you by God's grace. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this time. We thank you for this opportunity. We thank you for the union and the unity of the body of Washington County today. May we do things that are going to be pleasing in your sight, and we will forever give you the honor, the praise, and all the glory. In Jesus Christ's name, I say, Yehoshua HaMashiach. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Would you join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the Texas flag?
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
I'll tell you how wonderful that sounded to hear your voices really come out with the pledges. You know, a lot of times you go to these and people just kind of mumble through it. Not this group. Y'all, you're proud of it, and I'm proud of you for being that way. Thank you. Item number 3, recognition of the election workers of the November 5th general election. Ms. Jackson?
All right, good morning. It's so good to see you guys. First of all, I want to thank you, Judge Durenberger, Commissioner Kester, Commissioner Bullock, Commissioner Hannah, and Commissioner Mayeski for taking the opportunity to honor the election workers. This election definitely checked all of the boxes above, and you name it, but the best of all in regards to the turnout and the plans in place, it was very successful. And so everybody here that participated in the election should be very, very grateful that things turned out the way that they did during the election process. Now, we're here today to honor the election workers. Basically, it's everyone working together to get everyone together that makes elections so special. And we are all well deserving of this honor, because we definitely did a wonderful job. And I have to include myself in it because I'm an election worker just like you, and I love working hard just like you guys. Can't leave you by yourself. I have to work hard. And I have to mention my ace over here, Janet Daniel, who's an amazing person to work with. We get along. I can't imagine, going through this process on this journey without her, because she's definitely trustworthy and all that you can ask for in an individual, in an employee, or just a person in general. So we work together so good. We trust each other and able to get the work done. And in order to kick off this election, so Janet, you first one. I need you to stand up, please. Now let's take a look at the heroes of elections. That's you guys. That's each one of you who participated. You guys are absolutely heroes, because no matter what the situation, you came out of your house, your humble abiding house, and then you just came out and worked amongst people that you don't even know. You're serving people that you don't even know, and it's an honor. I know during early voting, I'm not a voter, but anyway, during early voting, so many people thank us, and it feels good, and that makes you want to do even more than you've already done. So it's wonderful to feel wanted and appreciated in Washington County, that you're doing something to assist those people to make sure that their vote is counted. Now, workers at a glance, there are roughly 22 teams in place. It could be a little bit more, but let me just tell you, early voting is one team, and that's about 30 or 40 people that show up to assist in getting the job done during early voting. So they work, and then they also work again on election day, and that's about 14 hours per day. We have some that do half days, but the majority of the people, of you guys, work 14 hours per day, and that's after you've gone through a week or 2 weeks of early voting. So if you worked early voting, please stand. Beautiful. And now, election day, there are 14 teams that go out to the polling locations. These are 14 polling locations. And everybody there works as a team, and that's a wonderful thing when you work as a team, because then you can get things done. And you don't hear all the mumbling, but if you do, at the end of the day, you still come together. I appreciate that. We appreciate that, because that's what it takes to get things done. So, Precinct 101, if you work Precinct 101, please stand. I do want to say something about Precinct 101. You are the most seasoned team ever. The years of experience is totally amazing. That works at that. Ms. McNair's not here, but work at that polling location. So, Ms. Linda, hats off to you. Precinct 104. Precinct Event Center. Somebody's here. Wonderful job. Precinct 109. You worked at St. Matthew. Yeah. Wonderful. Precinct 115. Now, I do have, wait, don't sit. I have something to say. Newest judge is Miss Lizzie, and she did a wonderful job, but she also had the alternate judge at her side, and they did an amazing job at that polling location.
She taught me a lot.
That's wonderful. All right. Precinct 203. Okay. You guys, you two have definitely been together for a while, and this is like your second or third election, but you guys all work good together. And this is Parker right here, but I love you, Todd. Thank y'all. Y'all did a wonderful job. And it's a husband and wife team. Precinct 205. If you work Precinct 205, please stand. Charlotte. Charlotte has been, is somebody else there? No, just Charlotte? Okay, Charlotte's been with the elections for a long time. And she does a wonderful job. That's one of our largest precincts, and people love to vote there. I mean, I have something to say about another precinct, but 205, they show up. Those people love to vote. 208, Precinct 208. And I think it's Mr. Daniels' maybe second time being a judge out there. An alternate judge. The judge is not here. Okay, Precinct 307. He worked at Precinct 307. I won't say anything, but you know, she's probably the youngest, but this is our judge, and then this is one of the clerks. So you guys do an amazing job. 311, Precinct, yay. Wonderful. This is our judge and alternate right here. And 312, Joanne is she's pretty new, but she does a wonderful job. Where's Joanne? There you go. She did a wonderful job. You and your team did wonderful. 320, precinct 320. And this is also the judge and the alternate. And those people in precinct 320, they're crazy also because they love to vote. They love to vote. It's amazing. I mean, we can always say that. Everybody, does a wonderful job in coming in and get their voices heard. But 320, precinct 320, is totally out of this world. They love to vote.
Thank you.
I knew it. That was for you. Precinct 406, but it was the truth.
That's where I live.
Precinct 406, that's that land. And Emil is one of those that I can just call and count on, Precinct 410. Yeah, Miss Glenda. Miss Glenda has been with us a long time also. Appreciate it. And then last but not least, Precinct 413. Yay. And the Cobers and Miss Sherry are the judge and the alternate judge. And all of you guys did a wonderful, wonderful job. And so another glance at what else happened is the early voting. Whom else is a part of the team? It's the early voting ballot board. Anybody here from the early voting ballot board that work? Stand up. Helen, stand up. These people, Helen is the judge, and then the alternate is Mr. Hauser. Mr. Hauser over there. And I can tell you that they work together so well. It's just like glue. And they do an amazing job, and we definitely appreciate them because they're making sure that any ballot by mail is actually that comes in, and we've accepted them, that they are counted. So they open all that mail, they take the ballots out, they look at them, and they take them out of 2 envelopes basically, and then make sure those ballots are counted. Central County, and they also meet 3 times. They absolutely meet 3 times. Before the election, election day, and then post-election. So they don't just meet one day and then done. Then we have the Central County Station. If you're from the Central County Station, not the tabulators, please stand. You worked at an amazing job. This year is our manager. And Mr. James is one of our judges, the alternate judge is not here, and that's it, thank you. Okay, and they also meet more than one time during the election. They meet 2 or 3 times or as many times as needed. And so the tabulators, my wonderful, wonderful tabulators. Come on, y'all, stand up. These people here make this happen, along with Miss Sherry's team and you guys, totally amazing. And the reason I say that is because they stay the course. As long as it takes to make sure everything comes out right, they make sure that count is correct. This is a tallier. No, do you tally? What do you do, Teresa? She make her own sheet so that she can write down how many ballots were counted through the scanner. Now that to me says, hey, amazing. She's amazing. So thank y'all. And then Miss Julie and Miss Jennifer, and then that's Christy as well. So you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. And they meet 3 times or more. And on election day, they actually have to meet twice. They come in and accept the ballots from the ballot board. And then they come back at night, and then they finish the count. And they have to do testing on the machine. There's 3 testings. 4. Teresa says 4. Anyway, they have to perform those testings because the Secretary of State says so. 1 before, second one.
pre-test, post-test, and provisional day test.
Definitely. With all of that, that's security in the elections, okay? You gotta know. And Central County Station night crew, there's also a night crew, because once Miss Sherry and her team meets early in the day with the tabulators, then they have to come back at night on election night, and they actually complete the night out because there are resolutions and ballots to be resolved and all of that good stuff. So they work really, really hard. I'm going to get through this in just a minute. Now, the receiving crew. I don't know if anybody's here from the receiving crew that accept the supplies. David, this is poll watcher turned election worker. This is amazing. He came in as a poll watcher, and we also have, Miss Carla came in, but she's not a poll watcher, but on the first day she stayed at least 6 hours. It was Johnny on the spot when I said to Sandy, I need somebody, and this is one of the persons that she actually sent, and she worked wonderful. Peace officers, William Shepard is not here, but we also have the constables that has stepped in, and they direct traffic. They make sure that the judges can get in and out of this location in this street, Park Street, when they bring in their supplies, and with no mess up. Don't have a crowded street, you know. So it's wonderful. They did a wonderful job. And then we also have to have a peace officer on duty on election night whenever the Central County Station meets. We have to have, by law, that we have to have somebody on duty, a constable or a peace officer on duty whenever the Central County Station meets to make sure that the ballots are secure and make it to the Central County Station, okay? And then we have the maintenance crew. I have to say that Bobby called me. I talked to Bobby last night. He didn't call me, but I talked to Bobby, and he was like, I did nothing because my leg was broken. Well, that's very true. However, Marty stepped in, and I tell you, everywhere I turned, anytime I needed something, Marty was there. They set up equipment, they tear it down if I need it, all of that good stuff. And so, hats off, wonderful, wonderful assistance in getting those signs put out, taken up, moved over, parking. And then the most recent teams that we had to add was the partial manual count team. And that consists of sorters and counters. So if you sorted for the partial manual count, which our tabulators did, and then we had the counters, the callers and the counters. Please stand. Please stand, because you guys, that's a lot to have to go through 18,000 ballots and try to sort them out and put them in the correct precinct. And then we have the callers that had to call in the tally, the markers that had to do tallying and then come out the same, basically. Even though sometimes we were a little off, but then we got it. Okay, and so I'm gonna leave it there. I wanna thank you guys. I'm sure that the commissioners and the judge are very honored to have you guys as election workers and love you as much as I do. And when I say I love you guys, I definitely love you guys. I'm telling you the truth. My mom loved everybody. I didn't understand it when she was growing up, when I was growing up, and she would say that. But now I do. And I appreciate you guys, and we can't do it without you. You are the icing on the cake. You are the peanut butter with the jelly. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone. All right, so that's all I have. And we do have refreshments for you guys. So after this is over, we're just going to, they're going to be dismissed. If you go over to the courthouse, into the court commissioner's chambers, please, indulge in either a cupcake, a brownie, a cookie, 2 or 3, 4 or 5, it doesn't matter, and a bottle of water, because we have it for you. All right. Thank y'all so much. And then I want to say, you don't have to do that. Party chairs, I don't see Mr. James here, but I do see Sandy. And thank you, you did a wonderful job in getting those workers clean. And so did Mr. James and his crew. They did wonderful jobs getting those workers. Thank y'all so much, we appreciate you. And we're committed to making elections happen.
I tell you what, y'all deserve a standing ovation here. This group did amazing. Commissioners Court cannot thank you enough for what y'all do for Washington County, keeping our elections safe, organized so well. Carol and Janet, y'all do an amazing job with the organization of getting it done ahead of time and during elections. But it doesn't work without you. Everybody in this room
That's
right
what I'm
here.
saying.
And I can't tell you, thank you sounds a little like it's not enough to say. But I do thank you for what you do for Washington County. And also I thank you, I did not get one phone call this election, either in early voting or during. I did not get one negative phone call. I got several positive phone calls, particularly with early voting, how well it went with that massive turnout, and it went smooth. I'm going to use this story that I told to Janet and to Carol. I have 4 elderly neighbors. They're older than I am, so you know they're elderly, okay? So, and it's a thing with them. Every election, they come and vote together. They ride. One guy picks up 3 ladies there in the neighborhood. And they called me and told me, well, we went and voted today. I said, oh, I was going to say something. Because, I mean, it was one of those huge days. And he said, we got there, and we had to wait down there by that hamburger place. I guess that's where so we had to get in line way down there, and I thought it was going to come on. Boy, it took too long. It wouldn't. He said, you know, we were walking out of there in less than 30 minutes. He said it was the best thing we've ever did. Just smooth, easy, nothing to it, no rush, no hurry. 30 minutes going back home. So anyway, that was the only call I got that was of that nature. And I can't tell you again how much we appreciate all y'all did. Thank you so much.
So I think that when we have elections, most of the time, most of us just think we're going in there to place a ballot. And many people don't realize what really goes on behind the scenes. As you can tell by the amount of people that are here today, it takes an army to hold elections and to hold them fairly and honestly. And what I love about this community is that while there's a lot of division within our country, in this county, we come together during an election time and we fulfill our public service duty in having this free, fair election. I will tell you, it is one thing to say that people provide public service. It's another thing to say that these folks are patriots. I looked up patriot in the Webster Dictionary, and it said one who loves and supports his or her community. I can't imagine anything showing any more love and support for a community than to make certain that these elections are free and fair. So thank you for everything you've done. Not only the counting, but the early voting. Look, one thing Carol forgot to mention was that we only have 25,000 voters, registered voters, right? I called her throughout the election, and I was like, how many are there today? I was kind of excited because I sit across in the coffee shop and watch what goes on, and the line was always to the corner. And it was amazing to me, so it excited me, because I've sat in this very spot before and probably to some degree chastise people for not voting. What I will say today is that I'm very proud of our community, because out of those 25,000 people, we had over 18,000 people vote. Now, I was looking for 20, but I'm settling for 18. I'm settling for 18. I will also tell you that about 3 days after the election, I came into this very room because I had to go into the annex. And when I got into this room, I almost could not make it through it. What people also don't realize is that there is a lot of equipment that goes on in the process of holding an election. And there are folks that handle this equipment and put this equipment up. But I made a joke to Carol. I said, "You don't have that put up yet?" And I think she about came across the table. But we just joked a little bit about that, and I will tell you that there's a lot that goes into it. So next time you go to an election as the community, you need to understand that there are so many patriots out there working to make that election what it was. So thank you all for what you've done. I really appreciate all of you. I know that I'm the commissioner of Precinct 3, and I'm part of that 320, so we always get out the vote. So appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Well said, Commissioner. I can't really trump that. He's so eloquent every time he speaks, but he completely hinted or hit the nail on the head. You guys are the linchpin, the backbone of our democracy. If we didn't have you guys there to volunteer in our community, it would make this process so much more difficult. So we are so thankful. What a wonderful election. As the judge said, we heard nothing but rave reviews. So thank you all so much.
I just want to say thank you for what all y'all done. It's hard to do that. I've seen how hard it is, and all the people that worked hard, and Kirk, he pretty well said it all. And anyway, I thank him for what he said, and I support that very much. So thank you all very much.
Anyone else? Okay, I think some cupcakes and so forth await. Is that correct, Ms. Carroll?
So go across the street.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Put down there, I said thank you one more time.
Yes, I did. Thank you so much.
Good, you're looking well.
There you go. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very nice to meet you. So are you one of Kirk's? No. Or are you four? Oh, you're done. Yeah. Non's boy. Yeah.
Good man.
My parents
That's a
are.
hard-working man there, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Good morning, it's good to see you with us. Are you going to have someone say? Okay.
Outfield. I've been outfield. He sat out there. Oh, it was my son that sat out there.
Where are you on the agenda?
He was a sitter because nothing ever came to it.
Okay, well, we'll just let you speak next.
Thank you. Thank you for all y'all do.
You don't, okay, well, that's fine. Okay, well, thank you. Okay, I just want to make sure, okay, thank you.
In the Burton area. In Burton. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Doing well, it's good to see you. Yeah, amen. Well, y'all deserve this blessing. No, it's just, it's a special election that was just so amazingly well done. And such a huge turnout. We felt like, we just felt like we wanted to recognize their election.
I think I was on the Rangers when I was in T-Mobile.
Mine was Angels Bicycle.
Yeah, well,
I think I have a picture of me in blue jeans. Playing T-ball.
Well, that's, if everybody's been,
I'd have to ask my mom.
there's a lot of other people out there. Well, thank you again. Thank you.
Good seeing you.
Okay. Item number 4 on our agenda. Discuss and possibly take action to record the acceptance by the county judge of a petition that is in proper form for the creation of Washington County Emergency Services District. Okay, I'll start that over. Item number 4, discuss and possibly take action to record the acceptance by the county judge of a petition that is in proper form for the creation of Washington County Emergency Services District number 1 pursuant to section 775.015 of the Texas Health and Safety Code, and to set a public hearing to be conducted for the proposed creation of Washington County Emergency Services District number 1, and issue the necessary notices pursuant to section 775.015 of the Texas Health and Safety Code. Commissioners, this was, we're back, we've had this before, but you know, it wasn't properly, the notice in the paper wasn't properly done by the paper. So we have to come back and do this again. Anyway, we'll set the public hearing for Tuesday, January 14th. And to do that, then we'll have to have the published in the paper 21 days in advance, and then the following week, the second notice. And the county clerk's office has been apprised of this, and they know that they have the dates figured and so forth. And Ms. Rothmel will be taking care of that. Is there a motion?
Do we have discussion first? And I'm not sure how this works, but.
Okay, we have to have a motion and a second and then discussion.
Sorry.
Excuse, that's the process.
Okay.
That is, okay. Is there a motion?
Doing.
I make a motion to record the acceptance by the county judge of a petition that is in proper form for the creation of Washington County Emergency Services District number 1 pursuant to section 775.015 of the Texas Health and Safety Code, and to set a public hearing to be conducted for the proposed creation of Washington County Emergency Service District number 1, and issue the necessary notices pursuant to section 775.015 of the Texas Health and Safety Code.
I second that motion.
You need the date and time in that meeting?
The date and time of the public hearing?
Yes.
And the date and time of the public hearing will be January 14th at 9 a.m.
Right.
2025.
Okay, is there a second?
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Now, any further discussion? Yes, sir.
Okay. In the interim of all this, Prairie Hill, I'm Secretary of the Prairie Hill Fire Department Corporation. We went
Excuse
out-
me, you may need to come to the microphone because this is being recorded.
And if you'll give your name, please.
Hi, I'm Kelly Strader. I'm with the Secretary of Prairie Hill Fire Department.
Okay, proceed.
So in the time that has passed, Prairie Hill went out and we found that our bylaws and our corporate charter were probably old, really old, like 40 years or so. So what we did is we went out to the state and within the department, we changed it, we updated the bylaws. Within the bylaws, what we did is we updated our service area for the fire protection. Within that, what we found is, and have y'all ever seen the fire district maps? And have you ever seen that they run through people's pastures and such? Okay, so what we did a meets and bound description of our fire protection district, and we used the roads. And I ran this by dispatch, and they said, what a great idea, because no one around here remembers what the roads are, what the you know, what the lines are that go through people's pastures, except for the old guys. So, what we've, and this is essentially Boggy Creek and 2621, the ESD and our fire districts don't match those lines. So what I would ask is that the Commissioners Court would have us go and work together and use the roads as the lines. Is that, I don't know how to, y'all
So
make,
is the current, I haven't looked at that, are the current bounds, Dustin's here, I know he can speak to
Yeah.
that. Are the current bounds for the ESD that are drawn up, are they similar to that? Do they just fly through
No.
someone's pasture, or do they follow roads?
So I'll tell you, the correct ESD map, for those of you who don't know, I'm Dustin Brown. I'm the captain and current sitting president of the Chapel Hill Volunteer Fire Department. District lines are created. They're political subdivision. They have nothing to do with the fire district lines.
so,
When it comes down to later on, if the district lines need to change in the future, after the public hearing.
Time out. One at a time.
After the public hearing, if the ESD is approved to move to the ballot, district lines can be adjusted, working with the courts and things like that. So today is just the acceptance of the petition and scheduling the public hearing. What he's discussing has to be discussed at a public hearing and afterwards. If the lines are not adequate to that, then they can be adjusted later on after the public hearing is done. If the ESD gets approved to be put on the ballot.
So the lines for the district, the ESD district, would be drawn based upon a recommendation by the Chapel Hill Volunteer Fire Department?
And Myersville. Myersville is here as well.
And Myersville as well?
Yep.
So those would be the lines for your district?
Yep.
And then you would,
It's kind of similar to like Brenham's ETJ.
Uh-huh.
Like there's some areas that we would respond to that are not part of that district due to the lines, like he said, cutting through, because the fire district is separate from the taxing entity.
yes.
So there's like some areas that just go through property lines, but the ESD district actually follows all property lines and does not cut through people's property, because that would cause issues for,
Taxation.
yeah,
You're gonna have to make the lines clear for taxation.
they are.
Yeah.
Written on the ESD petition, they're all drawn out, like how the line is being ran all around the property lines and all of that.
but I guess my question would be, is
But if they change,
if you're accepting the petition, then the petition's invalid. If you accept the petition as it's done, then you'd have to do another petition to change the lines in the petition based on the map.
Incorrect.
Correct.
That is incorrect.
So,
Once the public hearing is scheduled, if we have the public hearing and the ESD is approved to be moved to the ballot, if there's issues with the ESD boundary lines, they can be changed by the court.
right, because I would expect that to be addressed and fixed prior to an election, so that
Correct.
if it's changed after the fact, you might be missing some potential voters. So you're
Correct.
saying it just has to be done
It has to be done
before
after,
it goes on the ballot?
yes, no, before it goes on the ballot. So after the public hearing, if y'all find that it is doable to schedule or to put the ESD on the ballot, then there can be discussions about changing the district lines if y'all don't agree with some of the lines. And then they can be adjusted. That's per state law.
I would look to the county attorney on that.
That's
Well-
according to our lawyer that we just talked to prior to this.
The question I would have about this is the signatures on the petition.
Correct.
If we change the lines, could you lose some of those signatures?
It's a very high possibility, but most of the signatures that were obtained are from Chapel Hills area. So I don't think there's more than
And it's been too long, Dustin, tell me, how many signatures were there?
186,
And you required to have 50, correct?
100.
So you have a little, you required to have 100,
Yep.
so you have a little leeway.
We got most of the signatures from Blue Bonnet Hills, so.
Yeah, they're majority for Blue Bonnet Hill.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I think we can move forward with this and, because.
And if you have any questions on it, Ira's
all we're
office is
doing
readily
today is
available.
accepting the petition, basically what it is.
Yeah, and if we want to, I just want to note, have a note that there's, I don't mind accepting the petition, we're not this is not for or against the ESD, this is just for getting alignment
Well-
of what is included in the ESD, and also getting alignment.
Well, it sounds to me like
Yeah.
basically all the fire districts then need to be adjusted if we're going to do that. They would have to go by roads rather than, as you said, through someone's pasture.
And that has been tried in the past, and a lot of fire departments disagreed on what districts or what roads that they go on, you know.
Well,
And
you can-
the one thing that we did, we tried to go, I actually have went to the GIS folks at the engineering department, so we have our shape file already built for Prairie Hill. I needed to get, both Myersville and Gay Hill to accept the changes before we can actually implement that. But Myersville was not willing to do that because of this ESD thing that was going on. They weren't willing to accept the changes. They agree that it should go up the roads. Everybody pretty much agrees that we should use the roads and not the middle of people's pastures.
Would you like to
because it's
comment, Trey?
confusing.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, ESD petition part, we just want the lines a little more clear so that everybody understands. That's what our request is.
Well, I'm pretty clear. Look at my.
Okay.
And what does it take to change the fire districts? I know it has to go through the COG, they have to approve it, correct?
So the way it works is both agencies that would be affected by those district lines have to agree. Or you can have a majority of fire departments agree to that change. So most of the time, it's just gonna be that fire chief and the other fire chief agreeing on changing those district lines.
It's not the fire chief, it's the fire corporation.
Per the BVCOG, it has to be a written order from both fire departments stating the changes.
Which doesn't sound like that'll happen, so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's above my pay grade.
we
But I
have
do.
agreement, we have agreement with, right? I mean, we have agreement with Myersville that y'all are willing to change,
Depending on the ESDs,
depending on the ESD. So we have agreement with Myersville that they would change as long as it doesn't impact the ESD.
Okay, well,
Then we can move forward.
our motion and second was not to discuss this, it was to discuss the petition, the acceptance of the petition. Okay. Okay, is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Commissioner, was that a yes or no?
No.
Excuse me?
No.
That was a nay.
That was a
I'll
nay.
say nay
Okay.
over here too.
One nay.
Two.
Two nays? Excuse me. Two nays and three yays.
He said no.
Okay,
Dawn said no.
let's do this. Commissioner Mayeski, will you vote yes or no?
Yes.
Commissioner?
No.
No?
Yes.
Don? No. And I vote yes. 3-2 in favor. Okay. Item number 5, presentation of Washington County Sheriff's Office monthly report. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Judge, commissioners. Well, Mr. Wooden, we hadn't seen you do this in a while.
Probably ever.
I don't think I have.
You have not. This is my first time
We
to
have
do
a-
it.
We have a
Well,
lot
it's
of
good to
faith in
see
you
you.
doing it.
I'm gonna do my best, so I can't make any
Let's
promises,
see
but
what happens, right?
we will see. I got some paper to read off of, so it'll probably go okay, I guess.
Yeah.
So this is Washington County Sheriff's Office monthly report for October 2024. Group A, offenses, we're down by 1. Group B, we're up from 47 to 63. For the month of October, we had no burglaries or thefts, which I find to be amazing. But,
Our ADP is still significantly high. How's everything going with that? Are we having any issues or concerns in the jail as it relates to that?
I don't think so. That would be more of a Hensley
Okay.
thing right there. I know today we're at 122. The average has been running about 120.
120, yeah,
I know that we are down 5 in the jail
yeah.
as far as jailers, so I know they're looking for that. So anything above that, you'd probably have to go to Chief Hensley on.
Okay.
Our warnings were down significant for that month, but our citations were up pretty significant. We were down from 284 in warnings. We were at 284 for the previous month. We were down to 111 for October. But our citations were up pretty significant. We went from 117 up to 238 actual citations for that month. The crash reports were up from 42 to 69. That's probably going to be more so because of DPS, because of our troopers being down at the border and everywhere but here for the most part. Our arrest, Group A, we were down by 1, and then but our Group B was up from 26 to 36 for that month. And then our call response to the city of Burton was up. In the month of October, we had 81 calls to Burton. The previous month with just 44, so we almost doubled our call volume and just Burton for that month. And I think most of all that other stuff is jail. Is there any other questions y'all might have for me?
Would it be safe to assume that those calls to Burton, they had some incidents at the school? Would that have been a lot of those calls?
It's Antique Festival too.
Yeah, there was an antique festival out there. I don't know if they were all school related. I can't tell you why there was that many more out there, but
Right, Antique Festival.
I think it would be safe to assume it could be because of the activity, because of the
Yeah.
antique festival.
Okay.
So
All
many
right,
more
well,
people
explains it.
around.
Good.
I think that's what
That's a
the
better
officials were.
explanation. Okay. Anything else?
Well, thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Witt.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Item number 6, presentation of the following monthly reports. County Clerk. Nick, you got that for us this morning?
It's your first one, too.
It is.
All
There
right.
you go.
A
Everyone's
lot of firsts today.
cutting us some slack. All right. So looking at funds, we took in just under 72,000 last month, which is what we've been at basically all year long. Public records filings, just up slightly from, anyway, we had 666 last month. Just a normal average month there as well. Plats, we went up to 8 for last month, which is a lot more than we've usually been doing this year so far. But we've also seen a big drop from last year in those filings for those plats. Births, only had 18 births recorded last month, which is extremely lower than before. But we've sold 177, which is, I think, DPS requiring those for your driver's license is keeping those going pretty good. Deaths were up. We did 35 deaths last month, which is a lot more than normal there. And marriage licenses, we did 19, which is kind of about where we've been all year as well. Permidium, this is our online vital request. We only had 5 of those last month. And as far as fraud alert, we've been registering a lot more people this year for that as well, which is good.
Yes, it is.
That is all I've got for you.
And the fraud alert is for anything that goes through you guys' office, they'll.
Yeah,
alert
it
you.
notifies anytime a public record's filed, they'll get a notification.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get registered for that, but I'm registered because I just saw a commercial on TV where people are stealing your title.
Yeah, we get, the news will run these things every so often. We get phone calls and people asking about it. So normally when those run, we get a little uptick
Yeah,
in people signing up.
And that alert that we have here will alert us to that as well, right?
Yes, yeah, anything that's filed, you'll get a text or an email.
Just follow them.
Well, the good thing is I don't have to pay for that,
It is
right?
free.
It's free.
It is free.
And that's what I like, it's pay free.
Yes.
In your case, I don't know, you're probably getting a lot more alerts on yours.
I probably will, trust me.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
you.
sir, appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Okay, district clerk's report?
Commissioners, I looked at this and this, the number that struck me was the 739 and total cases pending.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing how busy the courts are.
All right. They are, no doubt.
I think they're asking for another bench, or did, right?
Could end up.
There is. Any questions or comments about the district clerk's report? Okay, Justice of the Peace report? Any questions or comments about the Justice of the Peace report? Okay, auditor's report. Ms. Hollis?
Good morning.
Good morning.
So this report is for October, and after October, there would be about 16% left to collect or expend. So the revenue remaining to collect for the general fund is 28%. I just wanted to, we've been talking about the taxes come in October, but we don't get the receipt for those until the first of the next month or the end of October because of collection. They collected at the appraisal district. So next month, you should see an increase, or that to decrease because we've increased our tax collections. Road and Bridge, 49% remaining to collect. And on expenses, the general fund has 17% remaining. We have budgeted or spent out of reserve, so that caused that number to go down. Road and Bridge is 25% remaining to expend. Total sales tax collected for October is $355,751. That is down some from last year. ARPA funds, total spent is around 3.8 million, and allocated to projects is 3.6. William Bass and I went over the numbers, compared getting down to the final in December to have everything obligated, and so he is working on that, and I think he's got most of it done. We're just waiting on a few things for the jail, and then that will all be taken care of. So.
Commissioners, speaking of this ARPA fund, does this 3.5 or 3.6 include the interest, or is that without the interest?
No, that's without.
That's without the interest.
Without.
So next week, we'll have on the agenda the recommendation by DRG for the jail kitchen. We've had some other discussions about the landscaping, and we're going to have another meeting on Monday to discuss that. But these funds are the two projects that these funds were allocated for. So when she has on here that they're allocated, I spoke to Miss Sarah yesterday to let her know. Mr. Bass had a different number in his email, but these are the accurate numbers, Miss Sarah, and if you'd like a copy of this, I can get it to you. Because you had asked me about those allocations and how that was going to be spent.
But we'll have an MOU though.
Yes,
For
and we'll
the
probably need to do an MOU for the landscaping project, because once we do the DRG next week, if the court approves that, then that would be
That's a form.
proof of allocation. Then we'd only need to do the MOU with the federal government for the landscaping, because I don't want to get us to a
That's
point
not
where
gonna
we're
be
so
ready
close.
before the end of the year with all the taxes and everything.
Yeah. I think we've hit a little bit of a speed bump, but
Yeah.
we'll work through it.
Right. And just because we say it's obligated doesn't mean the same are allocated
Yeah.
as grant work. So
Exactly.
sometimes
Yes.
that is a little,
Well,
but anyway. Do you have any questions?
All right.
Oh, I wanted to provide an update on Tyler going to the cloud. We're set to go live on December 19th and 20th. So they're projecting on the 19th, we could be down with just Tyler in code for possibly half a day. They're saying, expect could be the whole day, but they're hoping just for half a day. So, yeah. So our kickoff is on the 6th, and then, we'll be doing that. And the main users, the people that use it every single day will be testers on it, the 19th, 20th, and the next week, and then hopefully no snags and good to go. So I appreciate IT definitely getting this rolling, because we kind of came down to the wire on needing it for updates at the end of the year for tax bracket purposes and things like that. So we really appreciate them getting this rolling, so, yeah.
And so now we'll be able to use the mobile. It will be more user-friendly.
Absolutely.
Because currently the mobile
It's
side
not
of
very
that.
user-friendly.
No.
I haven't used it in a long time because of that.
And there will be, your username will change on this. We will make sure everyone is trained, knows how to get on there and do all the functions of it, but it should be a lot more user-friendly. You can use a web link. It won't be a desktop version that you have to be tied to, so that will be helpful.
That's great.
Well, thank you for spearheading that project.
Yeah,
No problem.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, tax assessor collector's report. Ms. Gaskin?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do y'all have any questions? I really don't have anything to say about it.
It's pretty vanilla, isn't it?
I didn't have
It's about
Ms.
true
Cheryl
to
and I
last
had a
year.
conversation about
TABC.
TABC. There's some challenges that she faced with that, and she's worked through those things, so I appreciate her doing that. I know there's some confusion about what counties can do and what they can't do in terms of who has to pay this tax, and she's working through all that to find out.
And
because-
Shauna worked with the city to make sure we didn't have a agreement with them, with their health department
So the question became if we had a health,
district.
health district that we could not charge the tax, and we do not. We used to have an MOU with the city of Brenham, and I explained that to Ms. Cheryl, and that MOU was canceled, and so we no longer have that. The state does the health inspections for county government, not an agent of the county. So just a little bit of clarification for that, and I appreciate you working with me on that.
So you're only referring,
TABC no longer supports collection of past due amounts. And if we want anybody to help us with past due amounts, we would have to go with a tax attorney.
Purdue Brandon? Or-
Purdue,
that's what we use.
don't we use Purdue?
Yes, exactly. So you're only referring to the license fees, correctly? Is that what we're
Yes,
talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know there was any, it's always been a state function, so. I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, they changed it.
Okay.
Yeah, since the
All right.
Senate bill. Thank
Anything
you.
else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Treasurer's report. Ms. Kramer? Good morning.
Just, ooh, it's tall for me. Just wanted to tell you all that in the investment side of the world, which is what I love to do, the interest has gone over the $1.5 million mark. I'm very proud of that. That is just investments. Yeah,
Amen.
that has nothing to do with all of the accounts that I don't have anything to do with, just my stuff. So anyway, we're very proud of that. Everything else is in good shape. We have money in the bank and taxes are coming in, so everything balances.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the constable's report? questions or comments about the constable's report? Okay, the Veterans Report, Mr. Purcern, patiently waiting back there. Good morning.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
So this is a report for October. October was a very busy month. Lots of folks coming by, lots of applications being sent to the VA. So we had 271 contacts and 97 reports or forms completed for them. We had funeral honors performed for veterans Paul Feist and Thomas Kent. If you look at how that turns out on the year for veterans trends, the following page, we are at, on average for 2024, 67 and 235 contacts.
Contact number continues to climb. Okay.
Well, Mr. Purcern, it says telephone, email, and face-to-face contacts. You had 271 this month, in October,
Hey, yes, sir.
and you helped 97 of those veterans.
Well, 97 forms, whatever they may be. That could be a form for an application for pension, compensation. It could be an appeal.
So what is the average time it takes to do one of those forms for you?
I think it depends on what the form is. Some of those forms could take an hour or so to complete. Some I could complete in about 5 minutes or less.
Okay.
It really depends on what it is. It depends on if I've seen the veteran or family member before, because a lot of it depends on the information
How
that's
much
available.
information you need. Yeah, okay.
And
Great question.
One of the veterans could have multiple forms. I mean, that doesn't go, you don't say 97, well, that's 97 contacts, because that could be more than one form per contact, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, any questions or comments? Again, thank you.
I guess to elaborate more on the question about what goes into some of these forms, so there are 3 forms of appeal with the VA. So if the VA denies a claim for benefits, you can appeal that in 3 different ways. They have something called a supplemental claim, which is based on new and relevant evidence that's presented to the VA. It's an argument that you need to make. They have a higher level review, which takes existing evidence and just reevaluates it with a different evaluator. Then they have the Board of Appeals, which uses a veterans law judge, and you have 3 separate options with that. That veterans law judge can take existing evidence and make a new determination, or they can sustain it. They can take it with new information, or they can allow a hearing, which that's the preferred option that I like, because you get to plead the veteran's case or the family member's case with that veterans law judge, with hopefully the family member or veteran present, and make an argument on their behalf for the benefits that they're trying to get. This is one of the most rewarding I guess it's one of the most rewarding parts of the job. I have seen a local widow of a veteran. Some of you probably know her, but she received dependency and indemnity compensation, and that took years after the VA denied it for years. So
That would be rewarding.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It is.
Thanks for sharing that with us.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Purcern.
Okay, item number 7, discuss a formal notice from Texas Water Utilities for a new service line installation across the county right-of-way of Airport Road Precinct 1. Mr. Stokes.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm going to try and not be too long-winded. I know we have quite a few items to go over today. So The first of what we're looking at is going to be a water service connection that's being proposed on Airport Road, going from north to south. This is going to be servicing a 1-acre tract that was subdivided in May of 2017. It is a 1-acre piece of property, so it does need to have water service to be able to meet the quotas for any OSSF in the future. This does meet all of our requirements, and we are going to be proceeding.
And is the line that's going to go under our roadway for more than one property, or is it just one property?
So it is located on the very furthest eastern section of the property, so if there is any future development on the undeveloped section to the east, then it can be tied into as well.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Good, all right. Okay. Item number 8, discuss and possibly act upon a bid modification per TLGC 262.0305 from LaRoche Chevrolet for 6 fleet vehicle purchases.
So I'm gonna give you a little rundown. This is obviously the fleet vehicle purchases. We've been kind of back and forth, just given the sealed bid process that takes place with a purchase like this. We went out for bids in September, and we awarded in October 12 different vehicles for a little bit of a swap that we're looking at in terms of EDS overall. Whenever we're looking at this, we did award 11 of the 12 to LaRoche Chevrolet. The 6 that we are going to be looking at today are actually going to be the Colorados. The Colorados, we did receive a letter 1st of November from LaRoche Chevrolet stating that they would not be able to honor the pricing that was given in the sealed bid process, given the fact that GM was not going to be able to honor the fleet pricing that they originally worked out with LaRoche Chevrolet. So this gives us a couple different options that we can look at here. Now, one of the options is we go back and we just do a completely new sealed bid process from scratch. I'd prefer to avoid it only from the standpoint of the time that it takes to go through this process, and we want to get these things out because we are renting these vehicles. I want to get these things out of here as fast as we can. The other process would be, there is a section in the Texas Local Government Code, which would be 262.0305, which talks about amending award of a sealed bid if it is in the best interest of the county. So this is in a section I have had a lot of experience with, so we did a little bit of research into this. We reached out to TAC Legal to at least kind of see if this is on the right track, and then we scheduled a meeting with the attorney's office as well as the auditor's office to discuss, is this something that is legal, and is this something that could be pursued from the court as an option to maybe move past the fleet purchasing versus retail purchasing. This is an option that we legally can pursue, and we've been into conversations with LaRoche up to this point to decide what that looks like. Originally, they gave us some pricing that would essentially be a $950 per vehicle swap. That's actually been lowered. So they were able to lower that down to $539 for the 4x2 Colorados, which would be 1 through 4 of the original sealed bid, as well as $536 increase to go to the retail purchase for the 4x4 Colorados. So overall, we're looking at a $3,228 increase from the overall bid, which would amount to a 0.67% increase from the overall sealed bid process. Now, that does put us still $82,000 and some change under what our original estimates were in budget. So I still think it's a really good deal, right? But at the same time,
Keeping that money in Washington County.
you're exactly right.
To support a business.
That's correct.
Yes, it does keep it in-house, it does keep it in the local community, and then the county owns these vehicles, and we can own them for a very long time, which of course is what we're overall looking at this for, is for the long-term investment instead of flipping these out over a rental process. So I do recommend this. It is a little unique, but at the same time, I do think it's in the best interest for the county, and I do recommend this modification of the award.
So, Ms. Miller, is there anything else that you would like to add to that? Because I just want to make sure if it's legal for the court to amend this bid, because this bid process, we had some other issues with the bidding. Is this something you're in contention with?
Yes, we've looked into it. Sarah, right here in my office, assistant county attorney, has researched it and made sure that everything was fine. And even with these amendments, it's still under the closest bid.
Yeah, the next closest was what?
Yeah.
I think it was approximately $7,000 increase for Oviedo for the Dodge, and that option would be the next biggest or the next lowest option.
Still less than the next
So that's
second.
an excellent point to argue that it's for the best interest of the county, because it's still lower than your next.
Well, in that LaRoche did, they originally said it'd be $950 a unit more, and they worked with us and came down to where it's $539 more.
Overall, and once again, I do think the price is good. I do think it's a good price for the vehicles. It's just purely the modification of the award. It had to be looked at from a legal standpoint.
Didn't you, in addition to the county attorney's office, didn't you also talk to TAC or McGee?
Typically, I like to kind of get their opinion first off, so we can kind of get a little bit of a foundation to kind of work off in our conversations on in-house. And yes, we did speak to TAC Legal, and they did say that this, based on our situation, this is a legal process.
I think once you add all of the costs of the lease agreements and the cost of going out for the higher bids, you're going to be at a much better cost base than you are with anything else. Even if you went out for more bids, you're going to probably land somewhere near this. So I think that's where I'm at with this, is that we, and as Commissioner Bullock said, this is a local company, and I see nothing wrong with this. So as long as we are legal, I make a motion to approve the bid modification per TLGC 262.0305 from LaRoche Chevrolet for 6 fleet vehicle purchases.
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Well, one thing I was gonna say about, once we start getting involved in these vehicles, I think we're gonna see this a lot more, so I'm glad we know this can be done with these bids, because you're gonna see a lot more when you're pre-ordering. If they don't have it on lot, it's a completely different story about price changes, so good to have that for the future.
Good point.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, discuss and possibly act upon a subdivision variance request for a land division fronting Highway 105 and FM 390, 7.101 acres, located in the Joseph Harbor Survey A-054, Precinct 1.
Yeah, so this is a subdivision variance request for a 7.1 acre tract located at the intersection of 390 and Highway 105. This is actually a developed tract. It's currently an RV park in that vicinity. The owners are looking to subdivide this into 3 separate lots that would amount to 1.5, 2.25, and 3.35 acres approximately. They have 2 existing driveways off of 105. So we were in collaboration with TxDOT through this process, and they will not be granting a third. So we've already been in touch with the applicant and let them know that if they were to move forward, then they will have to share a driveway off of 105. They are understanding of this situation, and TxDOT understands the situation as well. So everyone's on the same page in terms of how that's going to work out.
This drawing they presented is erroneous in this third driveway then, right?
They did have that in their application as a third driveway there as existing. It is not. There's only 2 that was approved via 105 access.
It's a driveway that would be adjoining 390, I guess, that tract of land.
Correct. So they're going to have to access that northernmost section on that exhibit to be able to do a shared drive for that other lot, if approved.
All right.
So I would just mention on here, on our application, maybe we need to change it to road name instead of within the county, because they're not putting the road name on the application. They were just putting yes. And so when we publish these documents, when they're put in the county clerk's office, they need to make certain that they have that name on there for future reference.
We can make that change.
I just think it would be better.
We can
So
do
if
that
we just
clarity.
put county road name, then they'll put the road name on there.
Perfect.
I'll move upon a subdivision variance request for a land division fronting Highway 105 and FM 390, 7.101 acres, located in the Joseph Harbor Survey A-54, Precinct 1.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, discuss and possibly act upon a subdivision variance request for a land division fronting FM 50, 10.09 acres, located in the Cole John Tract 157 A-0032, Precinct 1.
Yeah, so this one, we're actually not creating a new lot. One of the things we're looking at here is we have a parent tract that's 10.09 acres and a neighboring tract that is 30.04 acres. The landowners between the 2 have come to an agreement, if approved in Commissioner's Court, where the 10.09 acre tract would be split from the 5.605 that would be retained and have access to FM 50, and then a 4.5 acre tract would be split off and sold and combined with the 30.04 acre tract, which would have access to Clover Road. So we're still looking at two lots. It just would be modifying the lot lines between the two. The frontages will not change between the two, so we do not really see any issues with what they're being proposed here.
So the 30-acre lot, does it touch the FM 50? It looks like that little dog leg touches FM 50.
It does have a little access to the back off of 50, but their primary access that's currently in place
Yeah.
is over off of Clover.
Interesting. Because
And
it really goes right.
The
in front of
entryway is showing here is 44.97 feet, which is, that's the existing?
That is the existing, yes,
That's
sir.
been approved somewhere along the way before we had the 60 foot.
Probably somebody just cut that track out without going through court. There's always, that's possible too.
Well, and this is a over 10 acre tract, so it very well could have
Yes.
fell under an
Yeah.
exception at that point in the past,
Exception,
and there's exceptions.
I'll move upon a subdivision variance request for a land division fronting FM 50, 10.09 acres, located in the Cole John Tract 157A-0032, Precinct 1.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, discuss and possibly act upon subdivision variance request for land division fronting Old Independence Road, 5.00 acres, located in Elijah Alcorn Survey, A-1, Precinct 3.
Yeah, so this is another subdivision variance request. The parent tract is 5 acres. It is located on the west side of Old Independence Road, just south of the Thomason Creek intersection. The application is requesting a 3 acre daughter tract as well as an additional 2 acre daughter tract from the 5. They do meet the minimum frontage requirements of 144 foot being proposed, 183 for the 3 acre lot. We see no issues with the subdivision variance request, and we recommend approval.
I make a motion to approve the subdivision variance request for the land division fronting Old Independence Road, 5 acres, located on the Elijah Alcorn Survey, A1, Precinct 3.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12, discuss and possibly act on subdivision variance request for land division fronting Nixon Lake Road, 31.018 acres, located in the Samuel Hinch Survey, A-60, Precinct 4.
Yeah, so we do have a parent tract that is 31.018 acres that is located on the west side of Nixon Lake Road. This is also at the intersection of 290 and Nixon Lake. So what's being proposed here today would be a subdivision of 5 acres, which would be fronting Nixon Lake. Everything that would be along the frontage of 290 would be retained at 26.01 acres. There is an existing development on the 5 acre tract that they are wanting to retain. It does meet all the setbacks of the county standards, as well as we've reviewed the OSSF plans and everything within. The OSSF is also within that 5 acres, as well as with any setbacks that the OSSF order for the county does entail. We do recommend approval of this subdivision variance request as well.
I make a motion to approve the subdivision variance request for land division fronting Nixon Lake Road, 31.018 acres, located in the Samuel Hinch Survey, A-60, Precinct 4.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13, discuss and possibly act upon acceptance for an addition to the county road system, Crestview Lane, 0.438 miles in the Spring Creek Estates Section 3 subdivision, Precinct 2.
Yes, this is for the Spring Creek Estates Section 3. This is the final extension for Spring Creek Estates that they have planned as well as room for. This is one that was approved back in 2022. It's been in the 1-year maintenance period. They have finalized their third course chip seal on this roadway. We've done our final inspection with the contractor, And we have no other comments nor any issues related to the subdivision. They do meet all of our requirements, and therefore we are recommending approval of the acceptance of this particular roadway extension.
I make a motion to approve the acceptance in addition to the county road system, Crestview Lane, 0.438 miles in the Spring Creek Estates, Section 3 subdivision, Precinct 2.
I'll second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14, discuss and possibly act upon the acceptance in addition to the county road system, Orchard Oaks Lane, 0.385 miles in the Orchard Oaks subdivision, Precinct 3.
Yes, this is also very similar. This is one that was, that came out, I believe, actually in the beginning part of 2023, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, they moved pretty quickly in construction. And it has met its one-year maintenance period. They have finalized their third course chip seal on this one. Surprisingly, this is actually another one with very few issues from construction, which is kind of a rarity. So we're very happy with both of these, and they do meet all of our requirements and standards. We do recommend approval of the extension of Orchard Oaks Lane into the county maintenance system.
I make a motion to accept the addition to the county road system Orchard Oaks Lanes, 0.385 miles in the Orchard Oaks subdivision, Precinct 3.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item number 15, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of line item transfers. Oh, excuse me. I couldn't see you sitting over so quiet.
A line item transfer to move copier rental and copy overages to Department 4000, which is technology. It was discussed in budget that just pay one bill out of one line instead of every single department. So this is just removing the remainder into that 4,000 account.
That's clean.
And this was, the reason we discussed this is so that we would have one contract. Currently, we have multiple contracts, and it was much better for us to have one contract, got us into a situation where we were able to be more competitive with the cost. So I appreciate all of you, you and the IT department working on this to get this done. I make a motion to approve the line item transfers.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 16, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of accounts payable.
Hello again.
Hello.
Today, we are paying $450,642.36. A lot of that has to do with a whole bunch of bills, medical bills and stuff that to get caught up. They usually come to us in giant bunches, which is what they did. Also, we are paying for all the polling places, which is an honor to do that for all the hard work those folks all did. So,
I'll move upon the approval of accounts payable.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Item number 17.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned.